The 11th day of the 5th regular session of the 20th Congress will now come to order. May we all rise for a moment of silent prayer. Roll call, Chief Clerk.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Viguer, Senator Coolant, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Neth, Senator Panuelo,
Amen.
Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Usmal, Senator Wali, Speaker Simina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 13 members are present.
We have quorum to transact business this morning. Next item, reading of the journal for Leader Harbert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to dispense with the reading of the journal.
It's moved and seconded that we dispense with the reading of the journal. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journal. Next item, Chief Clerk.
Item 5, Presidential Communications, on receipt of 1, and it's number 20-331.
Assign that, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 6, Everson Supreme Court Communications, none.
Next.
Item 7, Member Communications, none also.
Next item.
Item 8, Departmental Communications, when receipt of numbers 20-73.
Assign that, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 9, Agency or Governmental Authority Communications.
Speaker,
none, Mr.
point of
Speaker.
privilege.
Okay. State your point, Chairman Panuelo.
Speaker, good morning to you and to all the members present today and those who are observing from our gallery. Speaker, kindly allow me on all our behalf to introduce officials and citizens who are observing our session this morning. First, I'd like to introduce Lucan Langso Medelanim, who's that's a traditional title for Ricky Carl, who's the Deputy Director of the Nature Conservancy. Let's give him a round of applause. And also Lucan Tolenwanik, that's a traditional title, and that's Mr. Willie Kostka, who's our Executive Director for the Micronesian Conservation Trust. Let's recognize him. And we also have Mr. Tokles Custo, who's MPA, Marine, what is that, Protected Area Network Coordinator under CSP. Let's give her. And last but not least, Ms. Shirley Bellep, Adaptation Fund Program Manager under MCD. Let's also welcome her. The program. I hope I have not missed out anyone, Speaker. If I have, other members can introduce them. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Panuelo. Indeed, the Congress joins you in welcoming especially our two Lukes and those fellow workers from the MCD.
Speaker, I know this person is on the list. It's my oversight. Also, our director, executive director for the Palm Bay Conservation Society, Mr. Eugene Joseph. Let's also welcome him. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Panuelo, for the introduction of our guests this morning. Any other point of privilege? Chairman Ursimo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Following suit, I'm not sure the individual has a title other than the administrative officer of the YAP Delegation Office. I am happy to introduce Mr. Santos Sarongoliver, working with the YAP Delegation. He's here to assist the delegation as well as the other members and staff of this Congress, and to enjoy the pristine and beautiful scenery in Pohnpei, especially Nutts Point. can we please give him a round of applause? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Ursumal. I think, yes, we join you in welcoming one of our staff. And yes, Panuelo, you have other...
Yeah, Speaker, I keep thinking when Chairman Ursumal constantly or always mention Next Point, whether he's reminding us that that location needs to be paved and this breakdown project needs to include Next Point. So thank you, Chairman Ursumal.
Yes, that's very intentional.
That is correct, Mr. Speaker, especially in light of something to come.
For sure, yes. Okay, any other point of privilege before we continue? If none, if there's no objection from members, next item, Chief Clerk,
Item 10, State Communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
continue.
Item 11, State Supreme Court Communications, none. Item 12, Municipal or Town Communications, also none. Item 13, Foreign Government Communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, order of the day. Item 14, Standing Committee Report.
Mr. Speaker, the first report under the report or Standing Committee Report calendar is Standing Committee Report number 20-85 on Functional Resolution number 20-87 from your Committee on R&D for adoption.
Okay, Chairman Panuelo.
Speaker, thank you. Speaker, your Committee on R&D had oversight hearing on this particular policy, Protected Areas Network National Guiding Policy Framework. It was a very productive oversight hearing, which brought in the main actors from our respective offices, Department of R&D, our new Department of Environment, offices representing the national government, Micronesian Conservation Trust, the Nature Conservancy, Conservation Society of Pohnpei, and other offices who came and testified as witnesses about the importance of this very item that's before Congress today. This is to adopt a policy that would help the nation coordinate its efforts and place a coordinating committee or technical unit within the Department of R&D to help coordinate our protected areas around our nation. And the aim is to make sure that we reach at least 30% of terrestrial areas and 20% of near shore. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, it could be the opposite, but I think we're close to reaching this commitment under the Convention on Biological Diversity as one of our obligations as a nation, and other related conventions. So the report is very thorough. I just want to cite the highlights here, but it's long overdue that the nation adopt this policy to make the process more transparent, more coordinated and focused. You know that MCD, Micronesian Conservation Trust, we have endowment fund that we're trying to reach, and that is a target of 29 million. And your committee members learned a lot more than we knew when we had the hearing. We've raised quite an amount of money. I'm sorry, I don't have the amount. I wrote it down, but I don't remember in the millions, but we have not reached the target. Palau and other members of MCD are doing the same thing, raising funds to reach that amount. But I clarified with the witnesses that the 29 million we're raising is going to circulate within FSM, and there's a percentage with which we can utilize while allowing the money to grow. So that's part of it, and other environmental NGOs also presented what they're doing in our respective states, and some projects that are very important with having our citizens accessible to these types of water wells and related programs. And that was basically in Chuk that the Conservation Society spoke to. So this is going to open up. I think adopting the policy will open up the door even wider for donor response to match what, as a nation, we put up resources to help sustain our naturally protected areas. Pombe has a list of these. The jurisdiction still remains with the states to pass by law protected areas in each state. But you remember that the Congress also passed the extension of our state territorial waters from 12 mile to 24, and that's, I believe that's also included in protection of our nearshore fisheries, including the Reach to Reef program that is funded by UNDP that's being implemented throughout our states. So I just want to highlight these, but the report is pretty much detailed. I ask other members of the committee to help explain if there's any question from members, but I will stop here and see if there's a question or other input from members of the committee that may want to include in the discussion. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Panel. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chairman Panuelo, you have the floor.
Speaker, I so move for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 20-85.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopts Standing Committee Report number 20-85. Any further discussion? Questions to be called for? If there's no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of Standing Committee Report 20-85 say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Report 20-85 is adopted by Congress. Next report.
Mr. Speaker, we have Standing Committee Report number 20-86 on Functional Bill number 20-118 from your Committee on Ways and Means for adoption.
Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the adoption of the report.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopts Standing Committee Report number 20-86. Discussion. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still in discussion of report number 20-86. If there is no further discussion, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of Standing Committee Report 20-86 say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Said report is adopted by Congress. Next report.
Mr. Speaker, the next report is Standing Committee Report number 20-87 on Functional Bill number 20-127 from your Committee on Ways and Means for adoption.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of the said report.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopts Standing Committee Report number 20-87. Discussion. Any discussion?
Speaker.
Chairman Rosemont.
Yeah, thank you. Just to point out that the one already adopted and this one, if you look at the signature page, the one of the members of the committee did not sign the report, and as I already indicated during, I believe, the public hearings on the bill, I have some small concerns which I would keep it to myself, and when it comes to voting, I will exercise my decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Rosemont. It's a free world. It's a free Congress. You can do what you want. Would you please? Okay. Any further discussion? If questions being called for, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote let's vote on the adoption. Those in favor of the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 20-87 say yes.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Standing Committee Report 20-87 is adopted by Congress. Next report.
Mr. Speaker, we have Standing Committee Report number 20-88 on Constitutional Bill number 20-130 from your Committee on Ways and Means for adoption.
Chairman Figure.
Again, I move for the adoption of the report.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt Standing Committee Report 20-88. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's
Speaker.
none. Here's Floor Leader Harbor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just a minor question in order to enlighten me. I'm sorry I don't have the chance to thoroughly read the report, but I just want to ask the reason why we're changing the qualifications of the two members of the trust fund.
Chairman Figure.
So recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on the Standing Committee Report calendar. Chairman Panuelo, you have the floor.
Speaker, I want to make a motion to place a Standing Committee Report number 20-95 on the Standing Committee Report calendar for action.
It's moved and seconded that Standing Committee Report number 20-95 be placed on the calendar for action. Those in favor of the motion? Yes, Floor Leader.
Yeah, just to make sure that we're not violating any of our rules, I hereby move to suspend any rule that may impede our action on the motion by Panuel.
It's moved and seconded that any relevant rule that might impede our action on the motion be suspended. Those in favor say yes. Opposed no. Motion carried. The relevant rules are suspended. Let's vote on the motion. Those in favor of placing Standing Committee Report number 20-95 on the Standing Committee Report calendar say yes. Opposed nay. Motion carried. Standing Committee Report 20-95 is placed on the calendar for action. Chairman Panuelo.
Speaker, I so move for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 20-95.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt Standing Committee Report 20-95. Discussion? Any discussion? If none, there is no objection.
Speaker.
Discussion? Yes, Chairman Figuer.
Yeah, I spent about 5 minutes reading the report, however I signed it, but I was looking at other food items that are exported and imported from other countries, like the Asian countries. Are they also covered under this? Should this become law?
Chairman
Or
Panuelo.
only dealing with the EU?
No, Speaker. Thank you, Chairman Figure. Our food and safety, they coordinate their work with our quarantines and everywhere throughout the nation in terms of export and import, the safety of our products, hygiene. But they've been working as a very informal office. So the question that's raised by Chairman Figueroa is that it's not dealing with EU. EU has got one of the most stringent markets, so it's going to open up EU, but it deals with every market, Chairman Figueroa. And so the legislation will amend the section that's cited here, amend Title 41 to create a competent authority so that our food and safety will have the authority and capacity to certify exports and also with imports, working in hand with other offices. So this is the intent. It will not have any budgetary implications for the current fiscal year because they're working with the grant that came in from World Bank, administered by Norma, to deal with this. But next fiscal year, they may come in with a modified budget to reflect the picker capacity that they will evolve. But this will allow them to begin doing regulations with AG in the area of food safety and capacity to be authentic. When we certify, it means that the products are safe for consumption and for export. Thank you, Speaker.
Speaker,
Thank you.
Speaker, may I still
Yes,
have the
continue.
floor?
You have the floor.
One more small question, because I read the report and I signed it, and I was just wondering if we are to create this competent authority. Is there anybody like the president that has more authority over this competent authority that he can give exempt to, and let's say my company is gonna export some rotten fish to the EU market, and this competent authority or this authority said, no, your fish is not good. Can I just force them to do it as president, or does the president have the authority, the supreme authority to force and exempt national law?
Thank you, Chairman Fakir. Any enlightenment on that?
Yeah, the Speaker, I know that YAP is dealing with the current issue, dealing with quarantines. I understand Chairman Figure is concerned about the kind of action that can supersede the work that must be done by our offices. But the answer is no. We raised the issue of liability of our products when, we bear the responsibility of what we say as a nation. When we certify it, must say that it is safe for consumption, and that's why it will open up the market in areas that are stricter in applying food safety and health issues. So the question is no, it shouldn't be.
And it would be an abuse of office.
It would be, I
if
would
you
assume it
try
would
to
be.
preempt the technical.
Correct. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Any further from?
Speaker,
Yes, Floor Leader Harbor.
thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have nothing relating to the report, but I just want to say that I was in the hearing and I was asking question thinking that I'm still a member of the committee. But now I just realized that I'm no longer a member of that committee. I don't know who strike out my name from the committee.
Floor, you're welcome to be a member anytime, but I think your delegation was doing all the switch around in the membership, but you're welcome to join every time.
Okay, any further discussion?
Question. Yeah, Speaker.
Chairman Ursula?
Yeah, like floor leader, I am glad, or not I am glad, but YAP delegation decided to switch assignment, and Chairman Fakir is a member of the R&D committee, and I am now a member of the TNC. But in the hearing, and I was glad to have time to attend the meeting, and I asked some of my questions relating to the issue, including the issue pending in YAP. I'm happy to report that the Department of R&D National Government, the food inspection section in our Department of Health and Social Affairs are still holding on to the items that were imported into YAP and not meeting certain qualifications or requirement. On the issue at hand, and I move for a very short recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. It's back in session. We're still on discussion of Report 20-95.
Move to the previous question.
It's been moved. There's no objection. Previous questions been called for. So debate is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of Standing Committee Report 20-95, say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Standing Committee Report number 20-95 is adopted by Congress. Next report, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we still have the awaiting list 20-43.
Okay, if there is no objection, we should not. We're now go down to next item. Chief Clerk, next item.
Item 15, special committee reports, none, Mr. Speaker.
Next item.
Item 16, assignment of measures and communications. We have a referral sheet number 20-86.
Okay, Chairman, members, take note of the referral sheet for your planning purposes. Next item.
Item 17, unfinished business, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, item 18, bill calendar, first bill. Chief Clerk.
Speaker, point of privilege, please.
State your point.
Thank you.
Chairman.
Speaker, I merely want to recognize the Honorable Nikon Johnny, our Associate Judge for the Bombay Supreme Court. Can we give him a round of applause? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Panuelo. Indeed, we always welcome our good friend, Associate Justice Johnny, to our chamber, serving our session. Okay. Any other point of privilege? If none, let's go on the first bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have the first bill is CP number 20-250 for first reading. CP number 20-250 is a bill for an act directing the President of the Federated States of Micronesia or his designee that in accordance with Section 2 of Title 14 of the Constitution of the Federated States of Micronesia, that at least every 10 years the question, shall there be a convention to revise or amend the Constitution, be submitted to the people in a general election. Such question shall be submitted to the people in the general election to be held on March 5th, 2019, as was submitted in 2001 and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Romulo. Move for passage.
Short recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chairman Romulo, you have the floor.
Move for adoption of the said bill on first reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 20-250 for first reading. Discussion.
Speaker,
Chairman Figueroa.
I have an oral amendment that I wish to offer.
Okay, there's an oral amendment. State your,
Thank you, Mrs. Speaker. On page 1, line 7, delete 5/2019 and insert March 2021. I so move.
Second.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker.
short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on discussion of CB 20-118. Any further discussion? If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of members. First reading.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figueroa, Senator Coland, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Coleman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Neth, Senator Panuelo, Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Ismail, Senator Wali, Speaker Slimina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted in favor.
For that reason, CB number 20-118 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 20-127 for first reading from your Committee on Ways and Means. CP number 20-127, it's a bill for an act to further amend Section 1208 of Title 55 of the Code of the Federated States of Micronesia as annotated, as enacted by Public Law number 10-150 and as amended by Public Law number 18-74 to change the composition of the Board of Trustees of the FSM Trust Fund and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
So move.
Any second? It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 20-127. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of members.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figuer,
Yes.
Senator Coland, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo, Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Orsmal, Senator Welly, Speaker Simina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted for.
CP number 20-127 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 20-130 for first reading from your Committee on Ways and Means. CB number 20-130 is a bill for an act to amend Section 3 of Public Law number 15-70 to change the qualification requirements for the two representatives for the FSM government to the Joint Trust Fund Committee and for other purposes.
Chairman Figuer.
Thank you, Speaker. I move for the passage of the bill on first reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 20-130. Discussion? Any discussion? If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of members. First reading.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figuer, Senator Coland, Senator or Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo, Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Orsmal, Senator Welly, Speaker Simina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 13 members voted for.
For that reason, CP number 20-130 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 20-202 or 202 for first reading from your Committee on R&D. It's attached to Standing Committee Report number 20-95. CP number 20-202. It's a bill for an act to further amend Title 41 of the Code of the Federated States of Micronesia as annotated and as amended by amending sections 103 or 1007, 109, 1011, 1013, 1014, 1020, 1022, 10 or 1024, 1025, 1026, 1027, 1028, and 1030 thereof, to provide for the establishment of the competent authority and for other purposes.
Chairman Panuelo.
Speaker, I so move for the passage on first reading CB number 20-202.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 20-202. Discussion, short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chief Clerk, just make the noted correction.
We're back. Yeah, Mr. Speaker, on the subsequent pages of CP 20-202, perhaps error was made on the footnote, but it should be 20-202 instead of 20-203.
Okay, let it be noted. Those corrections are technical. They will be corrected in encroaching. Okay, any further discussion on the bill? If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of members on first reading.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figuer, Senator Colant, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo,
Bye.
Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Orsmal, Senator Wally, Speaker Semina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 13 members for the vote.
CB number 20-202 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on the bill calendar. Next bill, Chief Clerk.
Yeah, Speaker.
None, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, Chairman Panuelo, you have the floor.
Yeah, Speaker, with the permission of the Chairman of the Ways and Means, I make a motion to withdraw and place CB number 20-249.
It's moved and seconded that CB number 20-249 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. CP number 20-249 is now placed on the bill calendar for action. The relevant rules that might impede our action are still suspended up to this point. Okay. Chairman Figure, motion for passage.
I yield the floor to Chairman Panuolo.
The floor is yielded to you, Chairman Panuelo.
Thank you, Speaker and Chairman Figure. So move for the passage of CB number 20-249 on first reading.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CB number 20-249. Discussion? Any discussion? Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chairman Colan?
Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
I move to offer a written amendment for the Senate Bill 20-49. The written amendment has been distributed and circulated. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Any second? It's moved and seconded that the offer for amendments to CB number 20-249 by Chairman Colan be adopted. The relevant rules that might impede our actions are still suspended. Any discussion on the offer for amendments? Chairman Woolley?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also have oral amendment that I wish to offer to amendment by Chairman Colan. Colan, yes.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the bill itself, on page 1,
We're on the offer
amendment,
for
okay.
amendments, yeah.
all right. On
Short
the-
recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chairman Woolley, you still have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My amendment to amendment offered by Chairman Colan is this. On page 1, line as you were, item 5, sub-item letter V, scholarship for Cochrane students, delete the amount 110,000 and add 205,000. Also, on same page, same line item, subsection AA, scholarship funds for secondary post-education, delete 875,000 and insert 1 million in Lutero. Also, Same line item, subsection, after subsection Z, letter Z, add A1, in parentheses, Devonshire Utwa Mangrove Channels cleanup improvements, 30,000. So move, Mr. Speaker.
It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments to the floor amendment by Chairman Welle be adopted. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We have the offered oral amendments by Chairman Welle to the offered floor amendments to CB 20-249. So any discussion on it? If not,
Speaker,
yes.
just to make sure I understand the purpose of the amendment, is it to increase the share of the kosher state, or what is it?
I think the better way to say it is to be
Fair.
equal to everybody else's share. Thank you. Not increase, to be equal.
Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you. That's good enough
May I
explanation.
know how much is to be equal to everybody else?
See, do the math. do
And
the math,
equal in
Chairman
what?
Rosimo.
Equal in size, height, weight, land mass? What are we comparing?
Well, you're the professional in that area, so maybe you
Speaker.
better do it yourself. You're the expert. Okay.
Speaker.
Yes, discussion on the offered oral amendments. Any? If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed on the offered oral amendments by Chairman Welle. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Welle, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. So we still have discussion on the floor amendment as amended. Any further discussion? Questions be called for. If there is no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered floor amendments to CB 20-249 as amended, as offered by Chairman Conan, say yes. Opposed, nay.
Speaker, short
Motion
recess.
carried. Short recess to the call of the chair. Congress is back in session. The offer for amendments to CB 20-249 as amended, offered by Chairman Conan, is adopted. We now have CD1 to the bill. Any further discussion on CD1?
Just a short question, Speaker.
Yes, go ahead, Chairman Rosmo.
Are we still in the roof under, within the ceiling?
Way within the, yes. We're still in, or else someone will call like this, timeout. You know,
And with this increase, how much would that leave us in the floating around?
Still have about 800. Okay. If there's no further discussion on the bill CD1, let's vote by roll call of members, first reading.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figuer, Senator Coland, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Penuelo,
Aye.
Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Rosmao, Senator Welle, Speaker Simina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 13 members vote.
CB number 20-249, CD1 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Speaker, short recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Floor Leader Harper.
Move that we stand in recess until 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that Congress stand in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Congress now stands in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning.